We moved in on the 1st. You might be asking why things aren't unpacked. Like a lot of things. That's because when we moved in, nothing was cleaned. The front storm door was literally falling off the hinge, and we had no keys to the locks for the front and back door. There was and still is cat shit and cat urine all over the carpet and floor.
What's up, everyone? I hope you're all doing well. I am moving and it is very stressful but exciting at the same time. The new prospects, where am I gonna move at? I don't know. It's crazy. But anyways, I thought, why not a video about people's moving experiences? So I just jumbled that together and let's get started.
So sorry, but I need to rant for a second. What has happened in the United States where there's literally no common courtesy or common sense? Like, where did it go? I'm moving. I hired movers a week ago. Keep in mind, I tried to support a small business of like a wife and a husband. Their reviews were good. They were very attentive on the phone. They were very kind. They weren't even the cheapest that I found, but I'm like, hey, let me support them. They seem like they were supposed to come at 9 a.m. today. Okay. So then they called me last night and said, hey, we had some trouble with our truck yesterday, so it's in the shop, but we're going to pick it up in the morning. Are you a little bit flexible? We could be there by 11. I said, sure, that's fine. Keep in mind also, I'm by myself and today's my only day off for the next 5 days. So I was like wanting to get as much done as possible. That's why I scheduled them earlier, but I said, hey, 2 hours won't make such a big difference. 10:40 rolls around and I'm like, hey, are you guys close? Do you guys have an ETA? Because I asked them to give me a 30-minute notice. At 10:40, he tells me, oh, we're going to get the truck right now, and then we're about an hour and a half from you. Don't you think that is something that you should have called me for and told me? Like, I understand that stuff comes up. I understand that, but I'm literally paying you for a service. You should have called me and told me. So now I'm like, I could have made 2 loads to my apartment by myself. I was waiting around for this truck to come. Like, I literally tell my friends that I'm going to be 5 minutes late to meet them for coffee or lunch. How are these people who I hired to move my whole apartment? You're not telling me that you're going to be an hour and a half, almost 2 hours late now? Like, what happened there?
All right, guys, this is why you don't get an apartment before seeing it in real life. I'm about to show you this shit. You walk in, right? You're like, oh shit, where's the floor? Oh my God. And then you look outside, same fucking floor as the outside. What the fuck? Yep. Ghetto apartment door. Look at this shit. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Like, I thought like, okay, you know what? Let me put a rug down. Maybe it'll make it more homey. Yeah, more homey my ass. Anyways, at least the view's kind of okay.
Yes, you're right. Anybody that's moving, when you book this kind of stuff, it is something that you just freak out about until it's actually loaded, unloaded, and you got all your shit and it's fine. But after all the drama yesterday that Flex Storage and Moving put me through, Flex, don't go there. I got in touch with a company, been in business for 33 years, family owned, all my sons based in Houston, and they have just now loaded everything up in an hour's time, and they are on their way to Houston. I got my husband to leave work to lead them down there and let them in because I am dying. My back is killing me. I am dying. So, and I got plenty of work here to do, but yes, I did get a mover. Yes, the stuff is gone, and yes, it's on its way to the new apartment, and hopefully this is almost over. Y'all be blessed.
had the movers here. They were supposed to be here at 9. They got here at 8 and acted like I was whatever for trying to wake up and answer all his fucking questions. The bill initially was supposed to be $2,500, $2,500. I'm like, oh, that's great, perfect. Well, they called last night. I gave them some inventory. I added some things, and it ended up being like $3,500. And I said, that's a lot more than we had said initially. And he said, it's because you added things, however many items. You had 32, and now you have 40 something. I'm like, okay, well, he's like, don't worry about it. The guy will do inventory again tomorrow, and you can take that off and bring that back down. I'm like, okay, fine, great. So I signed the contract, and they get here this morning, and I had taken a bunch of stuff off because I'll just get a U-Haul, and I'm already getting a U-Haul to take things to my other daughter. Here comes the guy. Hold on. So the mover came in. He's just the moving guy, but now the charge is like $4,000 something. It was $2,500. And I talked to the one guy, customer service, and he said, I can see the transcript. I'm like, no, you can't, because the transcript would say that the guy last night said, don't worry about it. You can bring it back down tomorrow when they do the inventory again. Are you kidding me? So fucking like $5,000. It was initially $20,000. It's double the fucking price. They're grifters, and there's nobody I can get a hold of. There's nobody I can talk to. Nothing. They got me good. Great.
Hey guys. Sorry, excuse me. It has been a long day. It has been a long weekend. Work was long and hard today. Yeah. Almost completely out of the other trailer. All the stuff is out, but there's still stuff outside. Do you want to see this mess? Are you ready for it? Yes. This place is a wreck. We have lots of stuff to do still. Remember the other place like this? Yes. It is still a wreck. And, oh, the cat was so scared of the ceiling fan. She literally hid under the bed all night long. And half of the day she stayed in the cage with the dog, hiding until I got home from work today. Finally, we drug her in the living room. Well, we carried her in here lovingly. We didn't drag her. We love her very much. And we loved her through it. And now she's running around the house. She don't like when the fan's on, though. She still gets scared. But the couch is pretty much up. Everything else is a wreck. Our bed frame's still ain't in here yet. It's about to be. It's in the kitchen. Bathroom's still work in progress. Lena's room, work in progress. What? Why is it in here on the floor? Ava, come get your cup out of her room. So guys, you see what we're going to be doing this week. Yeah. Love you guys. Hope you guys have a great day. Mom's going to the garden. Bye. Little sheeper man. He had a rough day. It's been rough for him. And for him, there was some little man's. He was a rough boy. Look, it looks like somebody rubbed his nose off. Somebody rubbed his nose off on a carpet because he pee-pees everywhere. He's a little pee-pee boy. That's why somebody dropped him off. He's getting better, guys. He's doing better, aren't you, honey? He doing better? Oh, he's hugging his mom. He's just a little huggy boy. He's Your little huggy man. Your little hugging his mom. You love his mom so much. He's a little sweet boy. Oh, he's hugging his mom. He's a happy man. He's a sweet boy. Hope you guys had a great day today. I love you and the Lord loves you. See you guys next time.
I know I'm not in the studio, but go ahead, like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get back to it.
So I'm supposed to be moving today. Guess what? I'm still in my old apartment. Movers were supposed to get here at 9 a.m. Turns out, the first two drivers called out sick. So they're like, okay, well, we could send someone around 2 to 4. I said, oh, well, that's not ideal, but okay. Then around 4:30, I get notified that, well, after around that time, I'm like, okay, this is taking way too long. And then they let me know that my drivers got into a fender bender. Which, it's no one's fault, but because an accident is an accident, and I'm just glad nobody was hurt. But it's now 6:22, and I'm still sitting here waiting for my movers. Now, ideally, I wanted to do this when the sun wasn't down, because I don't really want to be having a truck open with all my stuff while the sun's down, but I have no choice now. They say they're on the way, but I'm still sitting here. I haven't heard from anyone. I am, like, pushing through, not having a complete breakdown, because it's out of my control, and I just have to let it go. And sometimes in life, if you freak out about something that's out of your control, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to make the problem better. But what I'm really worried about is having these movers move my things at night. Like, I'm worried that my neighbors are going to be assholes and be like, what's all this noise? Like, why are you doing this at night? Like, just want this to be over. I'm so over this.
Y'all sure already know this by now, but recently I moved from Columbia, Missouri to Houston, Texas. And I literally shipped my entire life. And I know a lot of y'all maybe want to do a cross-country move too. You want to know who I use. But y'all, this is going to be the first time I ain't got no free game to put y'all on. And since my things finally came in, let me tell y'all why y'all should not use Eagle Moving Company. Because this shit has been a nightmare. I ain't gonna lie, I thought I was going to be getting some good service. Because from the jump, the sales manager got me. He on the phone talking about bodybuilding, his whole life story, and really acted like he wanted to get to know me. And it sounded good because their rate was like $1,500 below anybody else. So like any sensible person, I said, oh, that's a deal. Tap me in. But let's go ahead, fast forward to the date of the move. They came to get my car. Everything went well. They showed up on time. The dude didn't speak English, but he loaded the car up all fine. He said it's going to be there the next day. I said, cool, it's all good. I called the next day to check on the ETA. He said something happens, going to take another 2 days. I said, it's all good. I'm not even there yet. I can't even trip. But when the movers came, boy, this is when shit got hectic. First off, they put up an hour late. I said, you know what? It's all good. The dude came in to see everything I had to move, and he upcharged my price by $1,100. I said, who are you? I need to speak to a manager or something, because you're not finna walk in my place and upcharge me $1,100 that I'm just finna go with. Because at that point, we was damn near finna cancel the whole thing, get a U-Haul, get some boxes, and make the move our damn self. But I said, you know what? You already here. It's too late. Let's just go ahead and start moving things out, and we can reassess at the end. So after we got everything out, it was only $600 that they upcharged me. I'm like, you know what? It's all good. Next thing you know, he tell me it's gonna take 21 business days for my stuff to get to Houston. But the good old guys at Eagle Moving Company tell me it's gonna take within the week. But at this point, it's like, what can I do? It's not that I'm about to go set everything back up in my apartment. But I'm just like, Christian, it's all good. At least the move is complete. It may not get there in time, but hey, you finally getting to Houston. So I hop on the plane. We get to Houston. I let them know, like, hey, I'm here now. You can deliver the goods. They tell me it sounds good. The driver gonna call you when he's a day away, so you can be ready to take your stuff. A week goes by, I hear nothing. So I'll give him another call. I'm like, yo, what's the update? You know what they told me? Yeah, your driver's 30 minutes away. You're welcome. Like, what the fuck? Mind you, at the time, I'm not even at the house. But you know what? It's all good. My things are finally here, and I can finally stop living out of suitcases. All I'm saying is if you're planning a cross-country move, Eagle Moving Company is not the way to go. Just take it from me.
All right, so if you're just finding this video, this is part 3 of the moving nightmare that we are dealing with right now. Okay, so in part 2, we left it off where they got everything on the truck, well, everything that they were going to put on the truck, and they sat down and said, no, we got to calculate how much we owe them because we took up more room in the truck than what we originally were quoted for. And when we did the inventory, I made sure to ask them to add an extra panel from the truck
just in case, because you only pay for the space that you use. So I'd rather be quoted higher up front and then not have any surprises later. So that's what I asked them to do. Well, so remember I said in part one that the move was originally quoted about $6,600 or so. I had paid $3,600 up front as a deposit, and I was supposed to pay like $1,805 when they packed the truck up, and then $1,805 when they delivered. After they finished tallying everything up, my new total that I was supposed to pay right then for them to take my stuff was $4,250 from $1,805 to $4,250 pickup and again on delivery. Now, I've been saving for a long time for this move because I knew that we were going to hire movers. There were things that we were going to get in the new place, travel money. So I'd saved a good bit of money. After I did all the calculations, what that extra $5,000 plus that they tacked on took everything I had, everything that I had to travel, everything I had to buy new things for certain things that we needed when we got here, just everything. Like, I was in such shock, like literally in such shock. But they had all of our stuff on the truck, so what was I going to do? So I paid them the cash that I had, and I had to Zelle them like $2,200 at that point. And then they left. And I literally went to my car and I sat there for like, I can't even remember how long I sat there and cried. Because like that was all the money that we had to move, everything that I had saved. But they had our stuff, so what else was I going to do? Luckily, I had some really amazing people in my life, so they helped me out. And we weren't like too bad. I mean, we had the money to move, to travel and get a few things out here, but yeah. So I'm sorry. It's a lot. So yeah, so that's where we are. They took our stuff. Go to parts.
Whole move is really stressing us out. And so I guess I missed a few things. So our contract very clearly said, if the movers show up and their estimate is more than what we estimated, call us at this number, and do not let them pack anything, do not sign anything until you call us. So my husband was calling him at like 3:15, calling, finally got one person to answer, and they said, yeah, we'll have somebody call you back. As of today, 2 days later, no one has still called us back. So we kind of were stuck between a rock and a hard place. We really felt taken advantage of, like this was a bait and switch kind of thing, but we were stuck. We needed to get back, we needed to get out. Our house is under contract. We need to get all of our stuff out and get back and start our lives in this new state. So we really felt stuck. And then the guy said he had decided sometime between Friday night and Saturday that despite there was a 3 to 15 day delivery window, that he was just going to drive straight through after he loaded on Saturday, and that he was going to show up at our house on Sunday, and he was going to charge us $500 if we weren't there. He said it's an expedited delivery fee. I'm like, we didn't ask for an expedited delivery fee. We cannot physically be there Sunday. We are not leaving out until Saturday morning, and there's no way that we can drive both cars and pull this trailer and make it there by Sunday. It's just not going to happen, and we're not paying you any more money. And he finally agreed to that. So now back to Saturday, and they're like, or not, back to Friday, and he's like, okay, yeah, go rent a truck. We'll load it for you. My husband was pissed off about that. I was like, we're just going to do it. We're just going to let them load it. We're going to drive it. We're going to get it all there and be done with this shit and have it behind us. So reserve the truck online. Go to drop off the trailer. On the way, they call us and tell us that even though we reserved it online, there are no trucks available. Turns out there was not a single moving truck available this weekend in the entire state of New Hampshire. So now we're really fucked. Now what do we do? So we just kept our trailer, and we're like, fuck, I don't even know at this point, but he says he can get it, you know, and the movers that he hired locally said, we can get all this shit on this truck. I don't know what he's talking about. We can do this. We can get this on. So the day goes on, and we did finally get a hold of somebody at the moving company where we signed the contract from. That'll be part 5.
I got evicted from my apartment, and I moved out about 2.5 months ago, and I really wanted to move out on my own for the very first time, try to be independent, learn how to manage money, all the things. And so I really worked hard to try to find somewhere that was like in my price range and in a good location. I was really excited about it. It was a big step for me. I'm not an independent girly, okay? And I was really trying, really trying. I moved into this place, and let me just say, I almost didn't do it because the rental company was textbook sketchy. They sucked from the get-go, but there's a lot of backstory with that. So if y'all want to hear about that, let me know. Basically fought with them about the lease, fought with them like trying to figure out why they were so sketchy, and they just thought I was so stupid for thinking they were sketchy. So that's that. I moved out and I moved into a triplex. It was a house, 2 units up top, and I was in the basement studio. It had just been renovated. Nobody had ever lived there before, and I moved into the bottom unit, which was unit C. When I moved in, the first red flag I had was they sent me an email and they were like, congrats on your new place. And at the bottom it was like, by the way, you're gonna have to get a PO box because the postal service just doesn't recognize your address. And I was like, weird, kind of strange. And I did notice like there was letters like on the top. There was an A letter next to their door, a B letter next to their door, and they also had A and B mailboxes, and then there was a blank little spot at the end. Guess that's where C would be. I had nothing. And I was like, you know what? I've had weird addresses before though. And like, I thought, okay, maybe it's just new. Like, I'm not very smart. So I was like, I've had weird addresses and I have places I can get stuff shipped, like whatever. Then my second red flag was I tried to set up Wi-Fi, and you know, Chattanooga is known for EPB Wi-Fi. Like everybody loves EPB. It's like the best Wi-Fi ever. And if you're in Chattanooga, you can get it, duh. And I was so excited for that because I've had country girl Wi-Fi for a while. Okay. Go to the EPB website and I'm searching it up and all I see are units A and B. And I'm like, that's so strange. Let me reach out. And I tell them and I'm like, hey, I can't find my unit. And they're like, well, we only have A and B. And I'm like, yes, I understand that, but I currently live in C. So how are we going to get me some Wi-Fi? And they said, oh, that's so weird. Like they might be trying to run 3 units off of 2 meters and we'd have to come out and like check the area, see if we can run fiber optics. And I was like, what? And so I sent a screenshot of that to the rental company and I'm like, hey, like what do I do? And they respond and they're like, we recommend T-Mobile Wi-Fi. And I'm like, okay. I really just didn't want to be a Karen. I did not want to fight with them. I hate interacting with them because they already sucked from the get-go. So I was like, whatever, I'll just get freaking T-Mobile Wi-Fi. So those are my 2 red flags. And let me just say from the get-go, okay? I did in fact evict myself, basically. The rental company does not know that, but I'm finally done with the whole situation. So you know what? This entire situation I did to myself. Also, this whole situation has made me like feel really terrible about myself and all the decisions that I've made, and it's made me feel like I can't be independent, and I've had some really like some self-deprecating things go on from this. So please do not come for me for being an idiot for signing with this apartment. I know I've heard it all, like too good to be true, all the things. Really just wanted to find somewhere that I could afford, and the housing market's tough. I'm a broke girly. I was excited to move out on my own. I tried to do so much research, and I really thought that I would just like accept the half sketchiness and just not talk to them ever, but let me just continue. So then, as per my other videos, I start having quite a few problems like squishy floors and just some weird gas smells and strange things that were going on. And someone commented on my TikTok video actually, and they were like, I bet you they illegally renovated this apartment. And you know, I am a 23-year-old teenage girl, and I tried to do my research, but I did not think that they would illegally like just renovate this place and give it to me. I don't know. I guess I have faith in humanity. I just didn't think that would be possible. So I start researching, okay, and I find all of the like inspections and all the certificates that you need for the top 2 units, and not a single thing for Miss Unit C that I live in, okay? Not a single thing. I reach out to the city, and at the time I did not realize that the city will go nuclear if you let them know of something like this. In my head I was thinking, they won't take me seriously. They'll just like drag their feet and not look into it, or I could be wrong. Like I thought maybe I was wrong. They would just come inspect if they hadn't and fix the issues, and then I would get to live there. I don't know. I understand that's not how things work now. But anyways, I reach out to the city and I'm like, hey, I think I'm living in an illegal apartment. They asked very confused about what I could be possibly saying to them. They passed me around to several people, and they give me a little bit of info that makes me think I'm right, but they don't tell me much. And then one day I'm peacefully sitting at work and I get a notification on my Ring camera that there's a man on my front door. So I go to check that out and he's like looking around my front porch. He's looking around and then he leaves this sweet little red tag on my door handle. And you know, me and Mitch are both like, is this sex trafficking or is this the city? I don't know. We were both kind of sketched out of it. He goes and checks to see what it is, sends me a quick little photo, and this is what it was. So you can pause to read this, but essentially it just tells you that this is completely illegal and it's never been inspected, not up to code, all the things, and that they're going to turn the power off for the top two and me, the whole house, in 7 days if the issue is not resolved. In my head, I do not know what resolved means. I don't know that that means I need to get the heck out of there. I don't know. So I do not want the rental company to know that I was a part of this, right? Like I want them to think that I'm completely clueless. So I send them a quick little photo and I'm like, hey, this was on my door today, babe. They text me back and they're like, we can't read that. We can't read it. So I send them word for word what it says, word for word what it says. And this is how it proceeds. You can pause to read this, but essentially this is me telling them exactly what it says up there. And they claim later to have no idea what it said. This is them like not long after telling me I have 24 to 36 hours to get out of there. I'm currently freaking out at work and I'm like, that's just not going to happen. Like I have a full-time job. I send them a list and I'm like, what are you going to do about my money? Like, are you going to get me a storage unit? Like I need a moving company because I cannot take off work to just go move all my stuff out. I basically told them like, absolutely no way I'm going to be out in 24 to 36 hours. And also how did 7 days turn into 24 to 36 hours? Like I'm confused. Their response was very like not helpful. Like they weren't like, oh my gosh, like this is on us. I can't believe this is happening. They claimed the entire time that they had absolutely no idea that this was the case. When later the inspector did in fact tell me that they knew and they had completely talked to each other about how they could not renovate the bottom unit. So they knew the whole time. Again, you can pause to read. They just offered me like a week in an Airbnb and they were just like saying the owner couldn't obtain movers on such short notice. And I was like, okay, then me either, babe. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, what do you want me to do? I'm not concerned with the owner whatsoever. So then I got a little aggressive with them because I was like, no, you need to be like on your hands and knees begging me not to sue you right now because this is just not my fault. It's not my fault. Even though I did report them, like it's completely not my fault that I am living in an illegal apartment and have been for 2 months that could be very well dangerous. This was their response. Very aggressive. They said they appreciate my understanding and that they did their due diligence and whatever, like reserve my judgment. No, babe, like I figured it out in less than 2 months, so why couldn't you figure it out? I know you're supposed to have a certificate of occupancy when you rent out a place. Like I'm not stupid, but you are, and I'm so sorry to break it to you. The only thing I had to hold over their heads was the fact that I was in this unit, and I feel like they would have got a fat fine if I didn't get out there, which I might have gotten a fine too, I don't know. But I felt like the only thing I could get them to, like, I could hold over them was that I was in the unit and they wanted me out so bad. And I was like, okay, well, if you give me my money beforehand, like I'll get out. And they were like, absolutely not. Like they were like, the owner's not doing that. And I was like, well, I have no proof that you're going to give me my money once I'm out. Like I have no proof. They could text me that they were going to give me my money and then completely ghost me afterwards. So I was like, that's just not going to happen. When I tell you, every time they texted me, my heart rate went to like 100. I was so stressed. I thought the situation was going to give me a literal stroke. So we fought hard. Okay. We went back and forth. They kept saying they were contacting the owner when in fact the owner is an LLC, because I did find that out before I moved into the property. It's an LLC and the LLC address is actually the exact same address as the rental company. So I'm like, do you guys actually just own it? And you're just saying you're talking to the owner to like buy yourself time? I'm not sure. Cannot figure out the LLC situation and their sketchy rental company. There's nowhere to leave a review for this company online or I would be blasting them. So I'm just going to blast them on here. They suck all around. And I kept thinking that like maybe this was my fault that I just like made them mad, whatever. But actually the guy who lives upstairs came down. We had a quick little chat about how bad they suck, about how the things they told him were sketchy. He also informed me that the week before I moved in, which was when he moved in, the city wouldn't turn on his gas because they said it was leaking into the other units, specifically the bottom unit, that they wouldn't turn it on, but that the rental company said that someone came and fixed it, but he like wasn't sure. And I did have an issue where I was smelling gas in my apartment. So there very much could have been gas leaking into my apartment. Anyways, please ask me questions about this because I could talk about it for hours. There's so much that went down. I feel like I can't cover in enough time. Also, they did end up like being semi-cooperative. They tried to help me find a place and they gave me security deposit back, which I would have gotten that back anyways. And then my January rent back, which also I'm not living there in January. So like, that's not that great of a deal. I'm not living there. So obviously give me my rent back, but whatever. They did give me that back and they tried to find me a place to go, and they gave me the Airbnb for a week. I wanted to be completely done with them. I ended up moving back home because that was traumatizing and I can't afford to live anywhere. So once again, please don't call me an idiot. I really tried to do my research, really tried to figure this thing out. And now I will always check and see if a place is registered with the city before I move in, because apparently rental companies don't do don't do that. Love you, bye.
Here's part 4. All right, so she reruns my credit. We get a 6 1/4. Okay, Tuesday. Come Wednesday, she's getting with the underwriter to get all the paperwork in order to send to the title company. Now come to find out, on the day we signed, the title company had been wanting the loan documents for a week, and nobody was getting back to her. She's hounding our loan agent for this. Now our loan agent's pulling her hair out with this. I'm telling you, she really, really was. So I give her documents, all the documents she needs. I do it from my phone, send them to her. But all in all, I had to go home on a Thursday and give her everything. And her underwriter went into labor, so she had to get the head underwriter to do all of this. Everything going okay. She had to fudge a few things, which it's okay. She had to work on our income a little bit. And it's like, okay, so do what you gotta do. That's what I told her. Do what you gotta do. So she was doing what she had to do to get this done, because Friday was D-Day. We needed it done. So, okay, Thursday comes along. I'm scrambling to get bank documents, 401k documents. Finally, I said, you know what? I'll give you the information. You go in there and print out what you need, because it's like, I couldn't print nothing out. It wouldn't allow me to. And if I did print it out, everything was encrypted. It's like, oh, this is frustrating. So I said, here, gave her my husband's, gave her mine. She went in our 401 accounts, printed out what she needed, and then got her bank documents. And then I messed up on the bank documents. So I went down to her office, gave her what I had. We had to go into our accounts, print out the statements that she needed that I missed. It's like, oh my God, I was running so frantic, because by the end of that day, all the documents should have been submitted to the title company. So we go out to dinner with my in-laws, with my aunt, my cousin, go out to Red Lobster because they have the all-you-can-eat shrimp. So we went out to dinner. I'd already transferred the remainder of the down payment that was needed. Then I thought, oh my God, there might have been a mistake, because I made a mistake with the earnest money, and I might have made a mistake with this. Luckily, I didn't, because it was a huge mistake. If it would have been, it's like we would have been fucked, pretty much. But anyway, so Friday morning comes around. I messaged the escrow officer. They hadn't received the documents yet. There's a holdup with the underwriter. So I'm back and forth with Angie. What the fuck is going on? So finally, she gets it all straightened out. She had to tweak her income, get that done, submit it all, got it to the title company. Between 10 and 12, our officer was not going to be available. 2 minutes after 12, she calls us. I said, we are 15 minutes away. Finally get in there. Our loan officer's pulling her hair out. It's all done. And it's like, what the fuck? Long and short. There you go.
I just ran up to the gas station really quick. I had to take out money as a tip for the movers, but y'all, nothing is going smoothly. So they show up. Granted, I went over what we had in our house 2 different times with the movers, and they told us like, oh, a 26-foot truck will be perfect. 2 different times. So he shows up and he looks around and he's like, yeah, you're gonna need 2 trucks. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, that's not gonna fit on 1 truck. You're gonna need 2 trucks. He was like, but you know, probably only 75% of a second truck. And I was like, okay, what about price? He was like, well, it's probably gonna be double. No, you guys, it is more than double. It is triple what we were initially quoted, and I am furious. I'm so mad, because I'm like, I don't understand. Like, if we're not even using a full second truck, why is the price triple? I could understand even double. You know, I could be okay with that, because we did get a really good discount for the first truck, which was why we went with these people. But we're like, well, we should have known it was too good to be true, because now we're getting screwed. And it's like, they know that whenever they show up, you're basically like ready to go. You have everything boxed. Like, who's gonna be like, oh, never mind, we don't want it? Like, I feel like they did this intentionally, and I am so furious. So as of right now, they are loading up the first truck. We're gonna see how much they can fit, and then we're gonna decide from there, because I got on the phone with their manager and I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, I'm not paying triple I could understand double. I'm not paying triple. I'm not doing it. It's ridiculous. So the manager is like, well, the only thing we can do is load the first truck and then we'll go from there. We'll quote you. And I was like, well, you're not loading the second truck because then you're going to have to offload it if I change my mind. So we're going to see how much stuff is left over. I'm hoping more is going to fit on there than they originally thought, but I mean, it just sucks because we're sick right now. Like if we weren't sick, we'd be like, screw it, we're just gonna do it ourselves. But we don't feel good. My husband doesn't feel good. Like, you know, we don't have any people like lined up to help us move, and we're already ready to go. So I'm like, worst case scenario, we could rent a U-Haul truck. They're really not that expensive. We can get a 26-foot truck like what they have for $2,500 that covers the mileage, the truck, everything, and we can drive it ourselves. So I'm like, worst case scenario, we'll just do that because it'll be so much cheaper than, you know, us paying them. Like, that's just so ridiculous to me. I'm so mad, you guys. I just don't understand how they can get away with this, but that's what's going on. Hopefully we'll have an update and they'll come down on the price after they load the first truck.
So my boyfriend and I recently moved into an apartment from hell. Get ready with me to go to lunch with a friend while I tell you guys my crazy experience moving from LA to Indiana. Doesn't even sound right. So my boyfriend plays football and we just had to move from UCLA to Purdue, and that was already hard enough, but let me tell you, this apartment really takes the cake. The living situation was the only thing we were looking forward to because we would finally have a bigger apartment than we did in LA. But now we hate this as well. Starting off, weeks before I got here, my boyfriend had already moved in and he called maintenance to come fix the thermostat. Maintenance. So maintenance claimed it was fixed, but every morning I wake up and it's 60 degrees in here and I am shivering. So we complained again and they told us due to the weather being so cold, the thermostat wouldn't work properly. It's not even cold anymore, it's literally mid-50s. It also fluctuates between 60 degrees and 80 degrees, like there's no in between. Some days, if it's sunny, it'll get up to 80 degrees in here, and we have it set at all times from 72 to 74. But right now, that's the least of our problems because we also have a dryer that does not work. So a few days ago, maintenance also came to fix the dryer. All they fixed was the timer on the dryer, which was having the most issues. The dryer literally would not stop at the time that you set it for, and that can cause fires. It's like really dangerous. So thank goodness they fixed that part, but the clothes are not getting hot enough in the dryer, so it is taking hours and hours and hours to dry. When I go to grab the clothes out of the dryer after the cycle, they're literally still wet. So I just love the smell of mildew. It's fine. Now onto the biggest issue, our water. We have been taking lukewarm showers since we got here. Maintenance also came out to fix that, and shocker, it is nowhere near fixed. It actually got worse. So yesterday I got home from the gym and I decided to take a shower. 2 minutes in, it turned ice cold. Now the showers before were not that cold. They were at least still lukewarm. This actually felt like ice water. My boyfriend tried to take a shower a couple hours later. Same thing. It did not improve. I don't understand how they come and fix it and then it literally gets worse. Send someone who knows how to do it. And just when we thought it couldn't get any worse, I went to clean one of the showers yesterday. Took me like 30 or 40 minutes. I'm not a big cleaner, okay? So I was struggling. Did all of that work? Tell me why when I'm rinsing the shower out, you know, I have the faucet on, not the shower head, but just the faucet. It had been running for maybe 3 or 4 minutes at this point. All of a sudden, dark brown water everywhere. So I start screaming to Cam to come in and take a picture. He was in the other room, so he didn't make it in time. It only lasted for about 20-30 seconds, but we did get a picture of all the residue it left. It literally left black sediment everywhere. We have pictures of all of that. We're gonna show maintenance, and it gets worse. So next, I go to flush a piece of toilet paper down the toilet. I did not even use the bathroom. It was just a piece of toilet paper that I was flushing. And you know when the toilet, like, the water goes down and then it comes back up? When it came back up, it was dark brown. Like, it literally looked like I took a dump and didn't flush. So we took pictures of that too. The toilet also had the black sediment specks. I don't know what's going on, but I'm honestly scared if that's the water
that we are using to wash our hands, wash our face, shower in, brush our teeth, cook, clean. Like, it's concerning. Unfortunately, there's probably not going to be a fix because the apartment just keeps sending over these makeshift handymen that don't actually know what they're doing and aren't actually certified. It's already been hard enough moving across the country to somewhere we don't want to be, but now on top of that, we might have to possibly move and then repack everything up and move in somewhere else all over again. With all of that said, everyone I know keeps just telling me, make the best of it, Zoe, like, you'll be fine. It's only for a year, da da da. I don't know how much more I can take of this. It's so hard to keep an open mind when it feels like everything is just going wrong. Like, every day it's something new. So that is the end of my rant. I will keep you guys updated. I'm ready for lunch now, so if you're still here, thank you for watching.
Put a finger down if 4 months ago you moved into a cute little townhouse. As you were moving in, something just seemed kind of weird. You kept walking around inside, but your pants kept getting wet and you had no idea why. You also couldn't walk around in your own home without shoes on because there were roly-polies everywhere, which also seemed extremely weird. But you were just thinking it had just rained a lot, so maybe they just got in somehow, no problem, vacuumed them up. So every single day, your pants are getting wet inside and you don't know why. I'm talking like long yoga pants touching the ground as you're walking around. After you're downstairs for a little bit, you feel your ankles wet and you don't know why. So then you realize water is bubbling up from underneath your floor. So you immediately text your landlord, to which he replies, oh my gosh, thank you so much for telling me. I'm gonna come out and fix it right away. He FaceTimes you. He wants to see the water. It is straight up coming up from beneath the vinyl wood planking. You push it down and it's like bubbling up. So he has his buddy come out and take a look at it. And the guy goes, that's kind of weird. Let's just see if it dries out and we'll wait till it rains next and see if it happens again. So you're like, okay, that seems really fucking weird, but whatever. So then it proceeds to be the rainiest spring on record. It is constantly raining. One day you drop your kid off at school, you come home and sit on the couch and have your coffee, and then all of a sudden you hear water behind you and you look around and see that it is streaming in from the window that you are sitting behind. It's just coming down on your wall. You realize it's all over your floor. You hadn't even seen the water on the floor yet, so now you're looking around panicking because there's water everywhere. So now you're checking your entire house, walking around, feeling water underneath your feet still, and you're like, holy crap, if this is going on downstairs, what about upstairs? So you immediately go to your daughter's room, to which you find the whole room basically flooded. All of the boxes that you haven't unpacked yet are soaked at the bottom. There's a wooden box with all of her books in them that are also soaked. So again, you reach out to your landlord and you're like, SOS, this bitch is flooding. You schedule someone to come over. He brings over an architect, insurance adjusters, the framer for the house, other builders, other people that should know what's going on but don't. He comes over a handful of times unannounced and is just outside doing random things, putting silicone in spots. You also find major cracks in the stucco outside. You also learn that the building was never flashed around the windows. Then in your research, you find out that roly-polies are attracted to mold, so you freak out thinking there's mold, and then you go on a trip, you tell your landlord, hey, it's supposed to rain, I'm going on this trip, and he goes, no worries, girl, I got you, the windows will be fixed before you leave. They were not fixed before I left. I came home, my daughter's room was flooded again, and her dresser was completely ruined because it was water damaged. You still have roly-polies everywhere, you're freaking out about molds, so you get back in town, you tell him what's going on, he completely ghosts you for like 2 weeks. And you're like, well, shoot, I gotta find out if there's mold in my house now. You're talking to other neighbors who are also freaked out about mold because they also are having this same problem, because these townhomes are built like shit. So you go to Lowe's and you buy a mold test and it comes back and looks extremely disgusting, like really, really bad. You tell him there's mold, you move out to your parents' house. He says, fine, I'll have someone come and test for mold. He tells you he set up an appointment, but then never follows up on a time, and so you're starting to get really suspicious. You're talking to other neighbors who have also had problems, and your suspicion is growing and growing, and meanwhile you're living an hour away at your parents' house because you're genuinely concerned about black mold because you're starting to have massive health issues, all of which gets ignored or dismissed. And then finally you have a huge blowout argument with your landlord and he finally lets you out of the lease. So now you've only been here 4 months. Moving here was already the move from hell, and now you're packing again.
So y'all, please do y'all research on these apartments that y'all be trying to get. So story time. I just moved into this townhouse 3 weeks ago tomorrow. I hate it. Oh, I hate it so much. I'm not even lying. Like, it got all the space that I really wanted. But, like, when I moved in, it was just such a disaster. So, you had to apply to this place 4 to 6 weeks out. Mind you, I couldn't go physically look at this place because they didn't have an open unit to look at. Bad idea. Never get an apartment or a townhouse or a house, whatever, unless you can physically go look at it. So they sent me, the video of the little virtual tour. Of course it looks glamorous and all good and nice, very upgraded and all that shit. That's what I thought I was getting. So fast forward, the week of 3 days before I was supposed to move in, they tell me, oh, we have to switch units. You can't move it to the original unit. So I had to call everybody back, all the utilities and stuff back, and get the address switched again. Minor issue, cool. So they text me a day before I move in and say, sorry, well, you can't move in tomorrow. You gotta wait till Monday. Mind you, my moving day was that Friday, and I had everything planned. My original lease was up that Sunday, so I could not move in that Monday. Absolutely not. Why are y'all not prepared? And don't just end it with thank you, sorry for the inconvenience, and just move on like that. So I text back. I got to blowing up their phones. Of course they didn't answer, because they knew it was me. I left a mean voicemail, of course. I got the email and leasing agents, all type of shit, because what do you mean? No. So then they let me move in, but they was like, everything not done. I'm like, okay, cool. Y'all can work on the stuff, while I live there, because I don't have nowhere else to go. My lease supposed to be up. So when I get there, I sign the lease, and I go look at the place. First of all, it was half renovated, half updated. It's not what I thought. So, it got the painted cabinets and, updated appliances, but, painted everything, which is not what I thought I was getting, so I was shitty about that. But they told me somebody's gonna come back Saturday to do some stuff and finish up on that Monday. Cool. Somebody came back on that Saturday, did the bare minimum. Ain't see nobody on that Monday. Baby, I didn't see nobody since. It was 2 weeks later until I got somebody to come back. And you know how I got them to come back? After I was calling the leasing office, asking for updates, all of that, nothing, with hella shit not working, hella shit missing, all that. I had to write a review on Google, and it was a nasty, terrible review. And then all of a sudden, that put some fire under their ass to get them to do some shit after they had that Google review. When I say this shit was terrible, it's not what I thought. I'm talking the washer and dryer don't work. I'm missing mirrors. 3 toilets, only 1 toilet work. 3 sinks, only 1 sink work. It's so much shit. I'm talking about cabinets fucked up. And then icing on the cake. Roaches. And they try to tell me it's not the original, typical roaches we got. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if it's not the original roaches that people are used to. It was one of them earwig roaches or something like that. I don't care. And I'm still living here, and I am considering breaking my lease because they finally did some repairs 2 days ago. They were supposed to come back today to finish up. Do you think anybody came back today? No, not a soul. I'm not about to keep playing with them. Y'all want me to pay rent, but y'all not fixing shit. Y'all ain't got shit done. Y'all don't come back when y'all say y'all is, and I'm so over it. So make sure y'all know where y'all applying to. And do y'all research on these apartments, homes, townhomes, I don't care, before y'all move in. Make sure y'all can physically go see these.
I was supposed to move into my new apartment on Saturday, and it didn't happen. Let me tell you what happened. I'm so upset. So I've had my lease signed for a week now. I've had the apartment on hold for 3 weeks. So this has been in the process for a while. These people decided to call me 2 days before I move in. And they're like, hey, so that unit that you're supposed to move into in 2 days, it's an ADA unit. And I was like, oh, okay. Good thing I took screenshots of everything, because there was nothing that indicated that in my application, and there was nothing that indicated that on my lease for sure. So I was like, not what I wanted. No, I don't want it. And they're like, well, do you want to come look at it? And I was like, well, yeah, I'll go look at it. Let's go see. So I get there, he gives me the keys, and he's like, do you want to go by yourself? And I was like, yeah. So I went, because I'm like, I just so many emotions right now. This has already been so stressful, and then to have something like this happen 2 days before I'm supposed to move in, I was like, yes, sir, let me go by myself. So I go and I look at it, and not for me. I took a video. Let me show you guys. So that's what it looked like, right? So I go back and I talk to the guy and I'm like, hey, this isn't gonna work. I don't like it at all. I don't want it. It's not, I didn't know. If you guys didn't know, how was I supposed to know, you know? And he's like, yeah, you know, my bad. Apparently the guy that I was working with previously, the leasing agent, doesn't work there anymore, of course. So he was like, yeah, I know that you, like, this probably wasn't what you wanted, so we did have another unit available for you. I was like, okay, cool. I'll take that one. It's a regular one, like nothing. He's like, yeah, it's regular. It just has like a little bit of a backyard. I was like, all right, cool. Like, that's fine with me. And I was already getting 4 weeks free because I signed my lease during like the promotion, but the community manager was there. I think I was talking to the assistant community manager, but the community manager was there and she's like, oh no, give her 8 weeks. So now I'm getting 8 weeks free. He's like, yeah, I'll send you a new lease, whatever. I thought I was good. He sends me an email when I leave later that night. He's like, hey, I haven't forgotten about you. I'm still working on your lease. I'll get it to you by tomorrow. Okay, cool. I don't see his voicemail until the next day, but I email him and I'm like, oh, hey, like I saw that you're still working on it. No problem. You know, just send it whenever you're ready and then we'll be ready to go. And then also, oh, I forgot. So this unit that was available, he really was like trying to get me to move in at a later time because they needed time to, the people were just moving out, I think that day, or if not the next day. So he's like, you know, we would need time to paint and clean and stuff. And I was like, no, like I really need to do Saturday. I ended up talking to like my apartments now, and like my parents would come and help me move, and I was able to move things around because I really don't want things to be rushed either, you know? So I was like, hey, you know, also, by the way, like I can definitely do like next Wednesday, if that's better for you. So he responds and he's like, yeah, that's great. Also, there's going to be an additional price because this new unit is not an ADA unit, and because it has a little bit of a backyard, it's going to be about $300 more. I was like, sir, no. I'm sorry, no. First of all, I don't even want the backyard. This is the only unit that's available. This is my only option. And I'm like, I don't even want that. Like, I get the price difference between an ADA and a regular unit, but you're also telling me last minute, you told me 2 days before my original move-in date, like, I think that you guys should make something work. Like, I'm not. So I told him that, and he was like, okay, well, I'm going to talk to the property manager because they'll have to approve that, and then I'll get back to you. It's Monday today. Now I'm supposed to move in Wednesday, and I haven't heard anything yet, and I'm freaking out because I just want to be done with this. This is so annoying. So yeah, wish me luck, y'all. Hopefully he says something today. I don't want to wait another day. I need to know like ASAP. Honestly, I'm probably just going to take the place anyways because I don't have time. My actual lease is up with my apartment is Thursday or Friday. So I'm probably going to have to do it anyways. I don't have a choice. Any other place that I go to, the application process is going to take so long. I'll have to pay another, and I don't even know if they would give me back my like the administrative fee and the application fee that I hate so much. We all know that. Oh, I'm so annoyed. Okay, update. I literally just got an email as I was filming this. He literally said that they're not able to change anything. It's too bad, too sad.
The moving truck, I'm gonna get straight to the point. The moving truck came here when I was gone. I was in Louisiana. So I'm getting here, I'm getting situated, and I'm noticing like everything is not here. Like, I noticed off the top, one, all my shoes not here. Two, I'm going to, like, all my bathroom stuff is not here. My hair stuff is not here. I'm like, and I'm just observing because I'm like trying to make sure like I'm not tripping. I'm looking upstairs, downstairs storage. I'm like looking at all the bins, like the ones that's empty. I don't see the bins for them. Long story short, they know we're in the house. They were not unloaded. They didn't unload everything when they came to drop off everything. My husband was here, but my husband didn't pack everything up. Like, Clyde didn't, you know, he didn't pack up the truck. He didn't pack up all the boxes, so he didn't. They just told him this is it. Well, he said it was only one person, actually. It was only one person that came. He had to help him take stuff off the truck. So, and it came at like 8 o'clock at night. They were supposed to come way before that. But, long story short, he was like, okay, there's everything. He like, okay, sign. Assuming that there's everything. It was not everything. So I'm missing at least like 4 containers of my stuff, which is crazy because it's all my stuff. It's like they purposely picked my stuff. I know exactly what it looked like, and I emailed them. I called. They closed today. I've never had this happen before. We moved a lot. We've never had all our stuff not arrive. So I really don't know how to deal with this, but I called, I emailed, I sent them pictures of what it should look like. I sent them pictures of like when it was packed up at the house, because I took pictures like before they came and picked it up, you know, like these ones that's missing. Y'all picked up all the rest of the stuff. Y'all missing these. Hopefully I hear back. And I don't know. I don't care if they ship out stuff. I don't care if they come back, have to drop it off. It don't matter to me. I better get my stuff. And I know how much is what it was and how much it costs. Like all my hair stuff, that's my Dyson, that's my flat iron, what is that, like the Bliss, I forgot the brand name, but you know what I'm saying, that's my Josie Maran scrubs. That is not cheap stuff, and I need it.
Do not ever use Pod's Moving Company. Don't do it, okay? If you are traveling from okay, so don't use Pod's company if you are traveling through state to state. Or do it on your own risk. I'm just going to tell you my experience, okay? It started off really nice. They picked up my container, no problem, and then they shipped it to my new state. And so I'm here in my new state now, ready to move in, and I get the notice that my container can be picked up in this specific town. So I call them to confirm, and they tell me it's another town. Oh no, it's not that one, it's another town. So I was like, what are you talking about? So who's who, who's what? So I can't speak to representative. I can only speak to representative. I can't speak to somebody who's actually at the facility who can get the pod containers. I can only speak to someone overseas, you know, and it's like so frustrating. So anyways, after speaking with various customer service agents and managers, quote unquote, they assured me that the container was at the address that they, you know, put on my account for pickup. They assured me, even though they told me that it was somewhere else. So I'm like, okay, cool. Are you sure? Are you absolutely sure it's here? They said yes. So I scheduled the movers to come meet me at this particular destination so that I can get it, the particular address that they told me where the container was. I get there, the movers are there waiting for me. I get there, look around, my container right there. It's not there. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? So naturally I'm fuming. I get on the phone and I go to thank God there's a management office, there's a manager's office there, okay? So I go into the management office there at the Pods container facility, and they tell me that it's in Fort Lauderdale. I was like, are you kidding me right now? So I have to drive from where I was all the way back to Fort Lauderdale, where this moving company is actually located. They're right next door. So do yourself a favor. It's like, why couldn't they just why don't they allow the customer to talk to somebody at the actual facility where the container is, just to make sure? This could have all been avoided if I could have just spoke with somebody here at the container store, at the container holding. I could have avoided all of this. But it would have been better if they were correct, you know what I'm saying? So they said, oh, we assure you we talked to somebody there. No, they didn't. They lied. Okay? So anyways, they owe me money. They owe me. They will be paying for my time and my frustration. And that is all I have to say about it. But do yourself a favor. If you are considering using Pods, don't go with another company.
But boy, was I freaking dumb. And I'm paying the price for it now. I can't believe how dumb I was to panic into this. But like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, there were these advertisements on TikTok about like, oh, movers or get a moving estimate or something. And I was needing to move. So I ended up like clicking the link or whatever, went to the page and ended up giving them my information. They were supposed to call me and give me an estimate. Well, I get a hold of this very like aggressive sales guy that calls to give me a quote. And up to this point, everybody I talked to had given me a really, really high estimate on moving. I'm doing an out-of-state move, but even still, like, this is just outrageously expensive. They were quoting me $6,000 for like a really good company in this area. Well, this guy, I mean, this is my first red flag. This guy quotes me $1,600. And we go through all of my stuff. I know I don't have a ton of stuff. I have a 1-bedroom apartment, and even as a 1-bedroom apartment, I don't have that much stuff. So I'm thinking, okay, that's like more reasonable. I can like justify that. And I was like, well, let me think about it. And he was just like very good at getting me to stay on the phone. He was like, well, what's your hesitation? What's your concern? Da, da, da. So he basically tells me, like, if I walk away from this, like, I lose the discount that's making this $1,600, and then it's going to be like a lot more than that. I'm so dumb. But I was just like, I was not mentally prepared for that phone call. I didn't know that that was going to come right then. And so I didn't have like my critical thinking going. So I ended up going ahead and signing the contract and doing all of this. This guy like guarantees me I'm going to be the only order on this truck. There's not many people going to the place that I'm going to, so it'll be like the only move on the truck. And I don't know how like move estimates go and all of that stuff. Every move I've ever done, I've done it myself, or I've had like a company pay for like a full service move where like nothing had to do with me. So anyways, I end up now like reviewing the contracts as we've gone, and I Googled things, and I saw this is like basically a scam company. Like, is it a scam in that they are not going to move your stuff? No. They will move your stuff. Is it a scam in that they are going to hold your stuff hostage and charge you an arm and a leg more once they get a hold of it? Yes, absolutely. And in fact, the reviews were calling out this guy by name, and I'm going to say his name. His name was Chase. And anyways, so Chase gives you all of this like BS. He like writes it so that your quote is as low as possible. And then as you go through the contract and you have more time, you start to realize, wait, this wasn't included. This wasn't included. I've already realized there was like $75 worth of stuff left out. $75, not the end of the world, but like he knew that should have been in the estimate, and he intentionally left it out to give me like a really like juicy, tempting quote that I would then take. So flash forward to now, I am asking ChatGPT, like, I don't know what cubic footage like makes sense for this apartment and like the stuff that I've told them about, and my cubic footage for this move is being listed as 297, and so basically 300 cubic feet. I asked ChatGPT, and they're like, no, for a 1-bedroom it's normally like I think it could be like closer to 800 or something. And I told them the square footage of my apartment too. And they were like, but based on the stuff that you've listed, it's probably more like 400 to 500 cubic feet. So this guy has left out a bunch of cubic feet knowingly. I know he did, because to keep that quote low so that I would be more, willing to agree to it. So now I'm finding out it's probably going to be, $700 more. They're charging like $3.50 a cubic foot. So, and then it's like at the mover's discretion, like when they get here, if they think something's too heavy or they think something's too awkward, like they can just start like putting pressure. I mean, another red flag was the quality specialist I spoke to on Friday was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be an extra $75 because you have another flight of stairs. And he was like, you can pay that now, or sometimes the movers like won't even like ask for it or question it or anything, or they might end up charging you more if they see it's not been paid. They may ask for like $150, so you might just want to pay it now. Why are the numbers all changing? So anyways, I am supposed to have scheduled my move at this point. It is the night before the 2-day window that they had, which is BS anyways. We should have a set day, a set time window, and it should be like a month in advance, know when we're doing this. So now we come down to it. It is the night before. We were supposed to schedule this move between 4 and 7 p.m. Eastern today, because tomorrow is the earliest they can come pick this up. They have tomorrow and Wednesday as the options to come pick this up. And sure enough, 7 p.m. Eastern is come and gone. It's been well over an hour past that, an hour and a half past that. Nobody ever called me. Nobody ever scheduled anything. I spoke to customer service multiple times today. I was supposed to be getting a scheduling call in 45 minutes. That was hours and hours ago. Never happened. And so I just sent an email to the quality specialist being like, what is going on? If I don't get like a call by like noon tomorrow, then I'm going to like, you know, do like a chargeback with my card and start like trying to figure out another mover. What am I supposed to do at this point? I have all kinds of stuff packed up, and who do I get to move this stuff? And also it's a winter storm, so like my options are like way less than they even normally would be. I just like, please do your research. Do not move with either of these companies. Do not.
I've officially had the world's fastest move in and then move out experience ever. So if you want to hear a rental nightmare story, this one's for you. 2 days ago, I unloaded my U-Haul at my new rental home. And then yesterday I rented another U-Haul and moved out into a storage unit. Now I don't have a place to live because of this. It's been a wild 48 hours. But when I moved into the rental home, there were window frames literally disintegrating, falling apart. I'll try to overlay some pictures and video in this. And then the backyard was full of old car parts, like the rusty body of an old car, and then like literally just piles of rusty old car parts. Stuff that I couldn't clear out myself, and the lease clearly stated that the landlord was responsible for yard upkeep and yard maintenance. And when I toured the home, I asked, will the yard be included with the home? And they said yes, and did not tell me that any of these things would be left in the yard. So when they were still there, when I moved in, combined with the other issues like these window frames and such, I obviously was not happy, and I said, hey, this violates the lease. This is not what I thought I was signing up for. And they tried to put it back on me and said, well, that stuff was there when you toured the house and you didn't say it was going to be an issue then. And the house was rented as is. And so I went to trusty old ChatGPT and said, here's my lease, here's my situation, what are my options? And Chat said that the house was actually not up to Jacksonville City Code because of the car parts and the abandoned car body that was in the yard and these different things. So they at first refused to give me my money back, my first month's rent and my deposit and the pet fee and all these other things that I had paid, like $4,000. So I said, cool, you don't want to give me the money back? I'll see you in court. And I moved my stuff out. Like I said, I rented another U-Haul, moved in, moved out, all within 48 hours. Now my stuff is in a storage unit. And they texted me. They didn't even have the balls to call me. They texted me about an hour ago and said, the text, all it said was, your check is in the office, the doors lock at 5. That was it. So of course I was working until 5, so I had to text back and said, well, I'll be there when the doors unlock at 9 a.m. tomorrow, but thanks. So I'm glad that I'm getting my money back. That's great, but now I don't have a home. So to make it even crazier, like I'm in the middle of moving back to Florida from North Carolina, and half of my stuff is still in my house in North Carolina. And I'm going to get it this weekend, but I'm gonna have to put it in a storage unit because someone else is moving into my house there on April 1st. So I'm in a real pickle now. But all of that being said, today is day 16 of my sobriety journey. So I have had no gardening, no booze, no substances at all for 16 days now. And like I said in my TikTok yesterday, I really feel that the universe is just throwing everything that it can at me right now, trying to like test me on this sobriety journey. And it's difficult, to say the least. I would have failed last night if I would have had anything in the house that I'm staying at. I'm at a pet sit right now, and luckily I don't have any substances in this house. So there was not an option to fail without going to the store. That is the only reason that I'm not starting over on day one right now. But I am determined to pass this test from the universe. I just got to find a house to live in.
Y'all enjoy the video. The movers I have are really good at what they do. Nothing's gonna ever be perfect. The boss is super mean. Don't tell him I said that, but hey, he runs a tight ship and he's making sure that things get done well. So you guys have a great day and thanks for watching.